When I first found Peanut, I honestly thought he was gone. He was hidden in the back of a closet in an empty apartment, surrounded by silence and shadows. No food, no water, no heat, just darkness. He was so still that for a moment I didn't even think he was alive. And then I saw it. A slow, shallow breath. He was holding on. Barely. But he was still there. His spine had been broken in 3 different places. I'll never forget that moment. My heart dropped. He was just a tiny bearded dragon, but the damage was immense. He had nothing and no one. I sat down right there on the cold floor and cried. It's hard to explain what it feels like to see a life so small, so fragile, yet so determined to survive. I knew I couldn't walk away. I wouldn't. The vets were cautious. They examined him carefully, and the first miracle was that he wasn't in pain. He was badly injured, but he wasn't suffering. That meant we had a chance. That meant we could fight for him. So I brought him home with me. I was scared. I'd never cared for an animal with such severe injuries before. But I also knew I had to try. Peanut deserved at least that. From the moment we got home, I was determined to show him what love felt like, what life should feel like. Warmth, safety, affection, things he probably never knew existed. We started with the basics. Hydration, calcium supplements, clean greens, and plenty of good bugs. Every little bite he took felt like a victory. He was so weak at first, his eyes barely open, but I could tell he was trying. Peanut was terrified of me. He didn't understand that I was there to help. His whole life, human hands had meant danger, fear, or worse, neglect. So I started slow. I gave him warm baths, gently massaged his little body, careful not to touch his injured spine. I spoke softly. I stayed close, but never forced contact. I just wanted him to know he wasn't alone anymore. For days, I kept him by my side, while I worked, ate, even when I slept. I wanted him to feel connected. I needed him to know someone was finally fighting for him. And then, about a week later, something incredible happened. I reached out to gently pet his head, and instead of flinching, he closed his eyes. That tiny act of trust nearly broke me. That's when I knew we were going to be okay. Because of his spinal injuries, Peanut lost almost all use of his back legs. Watching him struggle to move around was heartbreaking. He wanted to explore, to play, to live like any other happy, curious little creature. But his body just wouldn't cooperate. I could see the frustration in his eyes. He was trapped inside himself. That's when something amazing happened. One of my followers on TikTok, someone I had never even met, reached out. She said she wanted to help. She had experience with 3D printing and offered to design a custom mobility aid for Peanut. I was stunned. People really do care, sometimes in the most beautiful ways. A few weeks later, a tiny 3D printed sled arrived in the mail. It had soft straps and wheels, perfectly fitted for Peanut's little body. We adjusted it slowly, making sure he was comfortable. And then we watched him move, really move, for the first time since I found him. He rolled across the grass with determination and joy. He lifted his head to the sun like he was claiming a piece of the world back. I cried again. A lot. Since then, Peanut has been thriving. He's gained weight. His beard, usually a sign of health and mood in dragons, turned dark and full, a clear sign that he felt good. And the best part? He started to seek out affection. The little guy who once trembled at the sight of a human now wants to be around people all the time. He cuddles. He follows me. He even gets a little grumpy if he's left alone for too long. Peanut loves laying in the grass on warm afternoons, just soaking up the sun. Sometimes I'll sit next to him and he'll climb up onto my leg and just stay there. He doesn't have to run anymore. He knows he's already home. This journey with Peanut has changed my life. He's more than a pet. He's a symbol of resilience, of second chances, of what happens when we choose compassion over convenience. Every single day with him is a reminder that kindness matters, and that even the smallest creatures deserve a fighting chance. There are so many more animals like Peanut out there, hurt, abandoned, forgotten. But they aren't beyond saving. They just need someone to care. If you're moved by Peanut's story, please consider supporting your local rescue or sanctuary. Donate if you can. Share their stories. Volunteer your time. Even a small act can ripple into something life-changing. I never planned on becoming Peanut's mom. I never imagined that a little dragon would teach me so much about love, trust, and healing. But here we are, side by side, rolling through life one day at a time. And if he's taught me anything, it's this: never underestimate the power of a second chance. Because sometimes the most broken souls have the biggest hearts, and all they need is someone to believe in them. Peanut believed in me, and I'll spend the rest of my life making sure he knows how much that means.